Hello. If you want to support us here at The Contemporary Gentleman, you can buy into our Spy series, links below. And depending on when this was recorded, we may or may not have an Instagram and or Patreon. If we do, links are below. Cheers. Here with The Contemporary Gentleman. I'm bringing you a video on my plate carrier. Kind of like I said in the other video about my war belt, I've had some of this stuff for a really long time and I just want to talk about it. Plus, what kind of inspired this with my plate carrier is I have a first sergeant who, when I first met, this is a few years ago, he said he would just never spend money on Army issued gear. He's like, why? I don't understand why you guys do that. He's like, half the time I just use issued boots even. And I was like, ew, gross. But anyway, so I say all that because, I don't know, several months ago, he was like, alright, I'm sick of this TA50 shit. What kind of plate carrier do I want? So, lo and behold, I know some of you are going to pull your hair out, considering companies like Spiritus and Faro Concepts. When we talked about what his needs and wants were, it actually made sense for him to go with an old school CRYE Precision JPC version 1, or 1.0, whatever, which is what I still have. And honestly, at this point, if I had to replace it, I'd replace it with another one, probably properly sized, because I was a little overweight when I bought this one. So, anyway, he wanted things like built-in mag pouches, wanted Molly. I don't remember what his other criteria was, but at the end of the day, for $230, all he had to buy was one other component. And then when he was, looking at all the other stuff that was similarly priced, in some cases more, or not much less priced, he still had to buy a lot of other stuff. So cost-effective wise, this was actually the best option for him. Now, my only complaint is the straps right here, the shoulder straps. I think it leaves some to be desired. I don't think the adjustment's great or very good. And then these like sleeves, I don't love them. I think it was executed better on the 2.0. Now that said, I think everything else about the JPC 1.0 I like better than the 2.0. So let's go ahead and move through some of that. Let's just go over what I have on it, right? So, we'll start in the front. ESSTAC Mag Pouches, like I said in my war belt video. To me, there's no other mag pouch other than CRYE GP pouches to include mag pouches. But we'll talk about them in a minute and why sometimes they're good. But if you have a location where you're only going to put a magazine, the ESSTAC just makes sense. I don't think I'd use any other pouch. I don't have a reason to try another pouch. All these I've used for several years, including through a 9-month deployment to Afghanistan. I did do stuff. I was not behind a desk. Granted, it wasn't like, OIF1, so don't want to give the wrong impression here, but this did see use, a lot of it. And so yeah, now what I like is that it comes with kangaroo pouches on it. You don't have to put mag pouches. I just like these ESSTACs so much. With that said, I appreciate this little group back here because if I ever am in a situation where I need or get or have extra magazines, those I basically just magically have 3 more pouches. What's more is that sometimes I have other stuff I want to jam in one, maybe a pistol, and I can do that. They Velcro closed and they go flat, and I can pop them open when I need to jam something down in there. Now there is also another set of pouches up here. There's elastic loops in here, so you can use the elastic or not. You can jam pistol magazines in there. What I actually do is, like at the range, I'll use I have a Gerber M4 tool, so front side adjustment, and it fits in there. And that's nice and handy for me to use to help soldiers or myself adjust our weapon. So, and I also jam markers in there for marking targets. So, very utilitarian. One of the reasons I very much like this plate carrier. Now, as we kind of go to the sides here, I'll kind of do 2 at once. We got CRYE Precision pouches, GP pouches. I've got a 152. No, I've got, their names are crazy, and part of what's crazy about the name is the name just names one of the things they've designed the pouch around, which for all the pouches they've designed it around multiple things / multiple things fit in it. It's like the little grenade pouch that's on the belt. You know, they advertise you can put 5 shotgun rounds in it. Holds a grenade. It holds 2 cans of dip. They actually show that on their site, which I love. So good versatility, and they reference stuff you're going to see if you're in the field, at least most of the time. So this one is a little smaller. I prefer the bigger one for most stuff, just because you can fit more things in it. But these pouches have like cords, and I'll kind of cut in a couple pictures, but they have cords and some methods of retaining radios or other things you put in them. So, you know, it's more than just throwing 2 mags in there and calling it a day. You can also, I ran my 152 out of, I didn't have it. I must have had it in this one. So anyway, the bigger one, I had my 152 in it for the whole deployment. It worked great. And then furthermore, the variety of pouches that they have in their little pouch suite is really nice. You can really kind of figure out what you're going to want to do, or what you know your mission might encounter, what gear you're issued, and so what pouches you want to use. And so I have more of these larger ones, and I've even got some of them on packs and stuff. This larger one actually fits perfectly a monster. So I want a picture of that, but you can fit a monster in there no problem. So anyway, good deal overall. So I do want to take a moment and talk about the side plate pouches that you can't really see, but side plate pouches are perfect, and I really learned that because at the beginning of my deployment I had to wear the issued TA50. It was a Gen 3 IOTV. It's not terrible, but the biggest complaint about that thing from everybody was the pouches. Granted, it's more of a pouch problem than the IOTV or plate carrier itself, but it just let the plate, which we are required to wear, the side plates, it let the plate just rub against our hips. And so these pouches hold the plate exactly where God intended, right on your side, well out of the way of your hips. So, so yeah, almost more of a comment really to the CRYE pouch than the plate carrier itself, but very good deal. And I do have Gerber seatbelt cutter holder. It actually survived on there for a very long time, and it only recently got lost, so I'll be removing that, but it's fun while it lasted. Back here I have a Blue Force Gear medic pouch. I like it very much, love it. It is in the back because your IFAK gets used on you by somebody else, typically. I do have access to other medical gear if I have to operate on myself. So this is for someone else to use on me, and here she is in all her glory. Now on the back, I've been through a couple different iterations of packs on the back. This is a Haley Strategic. I don't remember what they call it, but I like it very much. I do have a Camelback in there, but this can kind of expand, and I can, you know, have other stuff put in there if I need. I like the way it mollies on. So far, I've been a really big fan of this pack. I think it's great, and I will probably not be replacing it with anything. Now, coming around to the side, we have another pouch, and then you'll see better in pictures, but on these Cummerbunds are skeletal, and you can actually, there's 3 layers. So you got moly on the outside, this black kind of material, and moly on the inside. And so, like for instance, I've got my knife in there, which I will make a point to say that this knife is not for killing anyone. It's kind of annoying sometimes that everyone thinks like that's why I have that there. That knife is a tool, and there are times where I need to cut something, and having a knife easily and quickly accessible is really good. Pocket knives are just too easy. They come undone and come out of places way too easy, not to mention you're not really sacrificing anything on a system like this with a full-size knife. So Esee 4. I have a serrated one because this is not a survival knife, but it is a tool nonetheless. So that has served me well. Anyway, it's basically the long and short just of this system. Nothing crazy, but I did want to kind of give a shout out to some of these products because they've been really great. I did a lot of research before buying any of these products, and what's funny is the ESSTACs are kind of what started my whole gear bug in the first place. I was in a blank adapter, because it's in training, a blank firefight, and I was jamming P-mags into the old issued, UCP pattern double mag pouches, and I would grab a P-mag, and then the other magazine would come out with it. So I was like, I need to find a better solution for magazine retention. Granted, years later, I got issued a new version of that pouch. I had elastic and actually allowed for P-mags, but doesn't matter. The point is that I needed a solution for magazines, and it led to basically I could deploy to a country and I have all the gear I need. So I actually have a video on gear I recommend for military service, and it goes through everything that I've used and have. So cool video if you're into this, but just wanted to give a big shout out again to these companies and their products. They don't know who I am. They don't care, especially because I bought most of this so long ago before a YouTube channel that it's irrelevant now anyway. So I hope you enjoyed. This is James Donaldson with the Contemporary Gentleman, and until next time, keep your composure.